All right, welcome to Amateur Athletics. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 mistakes I made during my first ever triathlon. So, number 1, forgetting my helmet and having to turn around. Biggest thing I would recommend is writing out a list of things that you need for your race so that you have everything ready to go. You have it laid out. You have a list of it. And so that when you get in the car early in the morning to drive to your triathlon, you don't forget anything because you will be frazzled. You'll probably be a little nervous. So you won't have everything laid out and you'll probably won't have a list. Number 2 was not laying out everything and knowing exactly what I needed. So when you get your triathlon gear, when you go in to check in the next day and they give you all of your stuff, you have like 6 different stickers. So you have one for your helmet. You have probably some for your arms. You have like a jersey bib, you have one for your bike. So you have so many stickers that you need to put on. So put everything on ahead of time. Like everything that you can put on, lay out your jersey, put your jersey number on your shirt, put your shirt out, put your clothes out, literally lay everything out and have everything ready to go. Don't plan to like put your number on the next morning because you will probably run out of time or you'll be frazzled, you'll be a little bit nervous. So it's better to have like a calmer morning so you had stress before you head to your race. Number 3, this might, some people might agree, some people might not, but I wish I would have had a better bike. It was my first ever triathlon, so I used an average bike, but the most frustrating thing was I thought I did pretty well in the swim. And then we went to the bike, and so many people that were around me had much better bikes than me. They were just faster, they were skinnier, they were lighter, they were just in general much better. And that definitely like slowed me down having not a great bike. I still felt like I kept up pretty well, but I for sure would have cut down on my time if I would have had a better bike. And I wouldn't have felt as defeated when so many people are just passing me on these tiny bikes and they were working way less hard than I am. So if you can rent a nice bike, if you can afford a nice bike, I think it's definitely worth it. Where like most other gear you don't really necessarily need that will provide you that much of an advantage. Where if you have a nicer bike, you will drop minutes off of your time versus like if you have a better swimsuit, it's not really gonna make that much of a difference. Number 4, almost forgetting my swim gear at the transition station. So when you go to a triathlon, you have a certain time in the morning to go put your bike and all your food, your gear, your water, in like a little corral basically. And they cut it off before the race begins. Now, if you have people going before you, they're going to cut it off like they stopped. You weren't allowed to go into the transition area an hour before my race. So I had to get everything in there like an hour and a half before. So making sure that you have enough time to get all of your stuff in that transition area. So knowing when it closes and then putting your stuff in there. Now I almost made the mistake of putting everything in there, and I like laid out my swim cap and my goggles, not realizing that I needed my swim cap and my goggles to actually go swim, which was the first one. Like, so you don't go into the transition area before you start your first event. Like, you should have all of your swimming gear on. You should have your swim cap with you and your goggles. That should not be in the transition area because you are going to like a beach or you're starting near the water. You're not starting in that transition area. That's just in between the swim and the bike, and then the bike and the run. And then also I would add just making sure that when you are laying your stuff out that everything is ready to go. Like, I untied my shoes so that I wouldn't have to do that before my race. So having everything laid out so you can get to it quick and you can make your transitions seamless. Number 5, the last one, I think I did an okay job, but not practicing a brick run enough times. So a brick run, B-R-I-C-K, it is a combination between a bike, a run, and ick. So a brick run. So bike or a brick run being that you combine bike and it's disgusting because after you bike a long time and then you get off the bike and you run, your thighs are just, they feel so heavy. You feel like kind of out of it, and like it takes forever to like transition into the bike and the run because you are feeling, you're just so slow. And then finally you kind of start picking up the pace. But I feel like it would have been nicer to practice that more, so I would have had a better like transition, because I feel like my first half mile was a little slower. So that was something that I think I would have liked to have practiced more during my time leading up to my triathlon. So I hope that helped. If you want to check out anything in the comments, we got some free resources for you down there.